You know, watching football this weekend was akin to watching a daytime soap opera. I mean, there was so much drama. In college football, there was drama. In the NFL this weekend, there was drama. I was like, what am I watching here? Am I watching NFL, college football? Am I watching the young and the restless and the bold and the beautiful? But that's why we have Manic and Panic Monday. So we can go over all the drama. We're going to definitely go over the drama of the college football playoff bracket. And later on, we're going to get into the NFL action for week 14. A couple of teams one team definitely got robbed. Another one got, I would say, cheated themselves. And another team that it was a dynasty, that has been a dynasty, maybe fading away. We're going to get into all that right here, right now, in the ozone. Big O with the big mouth coming at you on a Manic and Panic Monday. It's December 5th, 2025. And like I said, this weekend was a bunch of drama. Let's get into it. Might as well. Because we've all heard, we've all seen the bracket. I'll pull this bracket up for you. We've seen the college football playoff bracket. We know who's in, who feels they got snubbed, who should have been in and who shouldn't. Let's get into it. Here's the college football playoff bracket for 2025. Now, I went into this weekend knowing that we're going to start at the top, that the winner of the Big Ten championship game will be the 1 seed. And credit to Indiana, they pulled it out. Close game, close defensive game. They pulled it out. They made less mistakes than Ohio State did. They pulled out the 3-point win. They are the number 1 seed. But I said the loser of that game would drop no worse than third, and then will still get a first round bye. As it shows, they basically flip flop, switch positions. Ohio State is now the 2nd seed. Indiana is the 1 seed. Both get first round byes. Georgia, with their blowout win over Alabama in the SEC championship game, basically didn't move. They're still the number 3 seed, first round bye. Texas Tech, with their blowout win over BYU in the Big 12 championship game, didn't move. 4th seed, first round bye. Now, basically the first 8 seeds, other than the flip flop at the top, didn't move. Oregon's 5. Oregon stayed at 5. Ole Miss stayed at 6. A&M stayed at 7. And Oklahoma stayed at 8. They all will get first round home playoff games in a couple of weeks. Now here's the interesting part, or where the drama comes in. Miami, Notre Dame, and Alabama. Now, I'm pretty sure all of you have heard all the noise about why Notre Dame didn't get in. They got robbed and they should have been in, and la da dee, la da da. Here's my reasoning on why Notre Dame didn't get in. First of all, I don't care if they're not in the conference. That's on them. Maybe this will teach them a lesson. Maybe this will teach them a lesson. Being snubbed out of a 12-team college football playoff over Alabama and Miami. Maybe. But this is the reason why I believe they didn't get in. The reason they didn't get in, you can blame the Duke Blue Devils. Yeah, that's right. You can blame the Duke Blue Devils for why Notre Dame did not get in the college football playoff. The Duke Blue Devils beat Virginia in the ACC championship game, and they basically blocked one of the three teams between Alabama, Miami, and Notre Dame from getting in. Why? Why, you ask? Simple. The committee said the top 5 highest ranking conference champions get automatic qualifying bids into the playoff. That's the committee rules. The top 5 conference champions get automatic bids. Well, Virginia was 17th in the previous college football playoff rankings. Had they had won the ACC championship, they would have got an automatic bid, and that would have kicked one of these two, James Madison and Tulane, out. Because you got top 5. One of these two would not have got in, either James Madison or Tulane, based on how the committee would have ranked them. And that would have left one spot open. As it's such, Miami and Alabama both got in. So that would have left one spot open for Notre Dame. They definitely would have had the credentials to get in over Texas, probably over Vanderbilt. But as is such, Duke beat Virginia. Duke's not getting in with 5 losses. So that left 2 open spots for conference champions. And since both Tulane and James Madison were ranked on the previous college football playoff rankings, and they won their conference championships, they got automatic bids. And that left one spot, that left the spot not able to be claimed. So then it came down to Miami, Notre Dame, and Alabama. Now, we can cry SEC bias all we want. I've even leaned into the fact that there's a lot of SEC bias going to the college football playoff. Why not? The SEC is going to boast that at least half their schools should be in. They know that's not going to happen. They know that's never going to happen. They're going to get 8 of their 16 schools into the college football playoff. They know that's not going to happen. Not in a 12-team playoff. No, that's not going to happen. They know that. But if you had left it up to the SEC, they probably would have done that. So that's just a wash to me. There'll always be SEC bias, especially when it comes towards college football playoff, ESPN, all that. Why? Because that's where the money is. Let's face it. That's where the money is. According to ESPN, that's where the money is. Fine. That's fine with me. I don't care. I really don't care one way or another. But we got to face the facts, and facts are facts. Alabama, in my opinion, don't belong. Why? And you can say what you want about who they beat. They beat 4 ranked teams and this and that and the other. The fact of the matter is, now, if any of y'all saw the SEC championship game this last Saturday, could you sit here with a straight face or typing in with a straight face, dropping me a comment, and tell me that Alabama, the way they played in the SEC championship game, could really run the table and become national champion? If you think that, you're either an Alabama homer or you need to get your eyes checked. Alabama got boat raced by Georgia. They got boat raced by Georgia. And if you count the last month where they barely beat South Carolina, they had to come back from make a hellacious comeback to beat South Carolina. They lost to Oklahoma at home. They barely beat Auburn, and then they got boat raced by Georgia. Do you think Alabama is worthy of being in the playoffs? I don't care what they did before. It ain't how you start, it's how you finish. And do any of y'all truly believe that Alabama is one of the top 9, 10 teams in college football the way they've been playing the last month? Hell no. If you believe that, you are a homer or you're just plain delusional and need your eyes checked. Because I've seen Alabama play over the last month. It has not been impressive. They cannot run the ball. Their defense is wishy-washy. It has been wishy-washy. The only thing that's been saving their ass is Kyle Simpson. And last Saturday, they got beat down in a way I haven't seen Alabama get beat down in a long time. They took an ass beating from Georgia. Yet the committee did not move them. He didn't move them. Last week they were ranked 9th. This week they were ranked 9th. Didn't move them. Hell, Ohio State lost by 3. They got bumped down one spot. BYU got thumped. They ain't even nowhere on this bracket, are they? So why did Alabama, who got thumped by a team they beat earlier this year, did not move? Yes, you can call it, maybe it is SEC bias. Because if I'm on the committee and I'm looking at Alabama getting beat down like that, I ain't putting them in the dang on college football playoff. I'm not putting them in. I'm not putting them in. I'm not putting Notre Dame in either. I'm not putting neither one of those two teams in. I put Miami in because Miami, the Miami definitely deserved to be in because they had the head-to-head tiebreaker on Notre Dame. They beat them straight up. They beat them. And if you want to talk about that strength of schedule crap, Miami's strength of schedule is way better than Notre Dame. So I'm not putting Notre Dame in. I'm not putting Alabama in. I'm putting Miami in, and I'm moving Vanderbilt in. Vanderbilt lost 2 games, but they didn't lose by much. And I don't remember them being thumped by anybody. I've seen Georgia get thumped. I mean, yeah, it was the SEC championship game. No, I seen Georgia. They didn't never get thumped. I seen Alabama get thumped. Yes, it might have been an SEC championship game, but it's a bad time to take an ass whooping. And in my eyes, both Notre Dame and Alabama should not be in. I believe it should have been Miami, because you got to have at least one ACC. Otherwise, what the hell are we doing? You got to have at least one from each of the Power Four conferences in the tournament. Otherwise, unless everybody in that conference stinks, but you got to have at least one from each of the Power Fours, at least. Otherwise, what the hell are you doing? Why are you doing this? You might as well go back to the old days of the BCS or just the AP and college football playoff poll. If that's what if you're not gonna include at least one team from each of the Power Four conferences, that's how I think. So Miami definitely should got in. They win their head-to-head tiebreaker with Notre Dame. They beat them straight up. But Alabama should not get in based on how they looked over the past month. They should not be in. They should not be in, especially how they got thumped. If BYU was on that precipice too, where even though they had one loss, and it was the Texas Tech, I mean, we're going to play fair, but be fair. BYU got thumped by Texas Tech. They ain't nowhere on this map. They're nowhere in the bracket. Same thing should have been for Alabama. I don't give a damn who they beat. They have 3 losses, including a beatdown loss to the team they beat in the SEC championship game. Shouldn't be in. Not looking like that. Because what makes you think they're going to get any better? If does anybody, I ask it again, does anybody in their righteous mind think Alabama is going to run the table and win the national title? Hell no. Hell no. Nobody is. But that's where we at. That is where we at. We'll get into that more in a little bit in a minute. Let's finish out the brackets. Let's look at the bracket. First round, we got James Madison going to Eugene to play Oregon. That's on December 20th. And the winner will face Texas Tech in the Orange Bowl. We got Alabama, the number 9 seed, going to Oklahoma to play the Sooners. That will be on December 19th. The winner of that game will play the number 1 seed, Indiana, in the Rose Bowl. We got Tulane coming in as 11th seed, going to Oxford to play Ole Miss. That game is December 20th. The winner of that game will see the Georgia Bulldogs in the Sugar Bowl. And then we got Miami coming in as the 10th seed, going to Texas A&M. They'll be heading to College Station, take on the Aggies. The winner of that game will take on Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl. So, well, do I think the committee got it right as far as brackets and matchups? Well, does anybody think Tulane and James Madison have a pulse of a chance to win in Ole Miss? Does Tulane have a chance to win in Ole Miss? Hell no. Ole Miss has already beat this team by, I think, 3 scores. Does James Madison have a pulse of a chance to go up into Eugene, Oregon, and beating the Ducks in a playoff game at night? Well, it ain't at night. It's probably mid-afternoon out west, but still. No. But honestly, I think Alabama should have been down to 12th. If they're the last team that got in, they should be 12th. I honestly think they should be playing Oregon. Alabama. That's right. I think they should be playing Oregon. I think they should be playing Oregon. Let's move James Madison to play Oklahoma. That's what I think. If Alabama was the last team in, and it looks like based on this metric, they should be the 12th seed. And they should be going to Oregon. That would be a good matchup. I think that would be a good matchup. Alabama, Oklahoma, that's an SEC matchup. So what? We've seen that. We've seen that before. We've seen that play out. Why not send Alabama to Eugene? Send them all the way to the Pacific Northwest and let's see what they do. The SECs are always talking about how they're the best conference. Well, we can see. We will see how good they are if you send an Alabama all the way up to Oregon. We'll see. That's what I would have loved to have seen. I would have loved to have seen that. Definitely. Oh, yeah, I would have loved Miami, Texas A&M. I would have loved to see Tulane play Texas A&M. And let Miami play Ole Miss. I would have loved, these are the matchups I would have thrown now had I been running the table in the college football playoff. I'm sending Alabama up to Eugene to play Oregon. That's your prize for getting thumped in the SEC championship game. You're going to travel. You're going to go all the way to the Pacific Northwest. Get yourself ready. I'm sending Miami to Ole Miss. Remember, these are the teams on the bus. I'm sending you to Ole Miss. Deal with the Rebels there. That's what I'm doing. I think that would put a little bit more intrigue in the matchups. But here we are, the 2025 college football playoff. Again, I think Notre Dame shouldn't have got in. I don't think Alabama should have got in. If we're going to be totally unbiased, which, let's face it, the committee is not. The committee will never be unbiased. Never. But if we're being totally unbiased, neither one of those two teams should have got in. Notre Dame, because they lose their head-to-head tiebreaker with Miami. And Alabama, because you lost 3 games and you looked bad in your last game. I don't care if it was the conference championship game. You looked bad. You looked really, really bad. You were already on a bubble going in. You should have put on a hell of a better performance against a team you had already beaten. I know they got injuries and all their main running backs were not there, not available, and this, that, and other. But still, you look bad. And I don't think anybody in their right, like I said, other than Bama Homer fans, and people that are just flat out delusional. I don't think anybody on their righteous mind is going to put money on Alabama winning this thing. I know I wouldn't. I wouldn't put a dime on it. Now, y'all probably think, oh, you're saying that because you're a Buckeyes fan. Right. I am a Buckeyes fan. But I'm also, like I said, I'm unbiased when it comes to this show. I will tell it. I tell it like I sees it. Now, I don't know who's going to win this thing. I'm hoping Ohio State repeats, but it ain't going to be easy. It's not going to be easy at all. As we saw in the Big Ten championship game, this team has a couple of flaws that they need to correct. One thing, the running game has to step up. But we're going to get into matchups later on in the week. We got plenty of time to break down the matchups in this bracket. Right now, we're dealing with who should have been in and who should have been out. And again, I think Notre Dame, Alabama should have been out. Miami definitely should have been in. Also, Vanderbilt should have been in. Oh, I know Alabama beat Vanderbilt, but still, we're talking about what have you done for me lately. And Vanderbilt went into Tennessee and beat them badly. Alabama basically is limped their way into the SEC championship game, and they got their asses handed to them. Now, like I said, you can't sit there. Nobody can sit there and with a straight face and say Alabama's going to win this championship. Alabama better hope they get past the first round. That's how I see Alabama. They better pray with no running game and a wishy-washy defense going on the road in Norman, Oklahoma. And that's a night game. They better hope they can get past that first game. We'll see. But I doubt it. And more news on the Notre Dame, as you probably all know. They've opted not to take place in this year's bowl season, so they will not be going to a bowl game of any kind. They voted on that. A lot of people were thinking that the coaches and the athletic directors made that decision. Actually, that was a team vote. The team in protest. They did that in protest as a team because head coach Marcus Freeman asked the team, do they want to go to the bowl, and that in protest, all the team, including team captains, said no, we're not going. Now, I've been checking my social media feeds and everything, and a lot of you guys are calling the Notre Dame Fighting Irish a bunch of crybabies and a bunch of punks and this, that, and the other. Call them what you will, but you can't. But you cannot blame Notre Dame for being as angry as they are. They feel they had gotten robbed, and maybe I don't think they got robbed. I don't think they belong. I didn't think they. I know they won 10 in a row, but who have beaten? Who did you beat? That's the problem. That is the problem I had with even putting Notre Dame in. Who did you beat? You beat one on that 10-game winning streak. You beat one decent team. That was Pitt. And Pitt died. You didn't beat anybody of significance. Boston College, Purdue, Syracuse. You didn't beat anybody of significance. The two best games that you had on your schedule, you lost. Miami and Texas A&M. Had you won either one of those games, you'd have been in, no doubt about it. No question. Had you to beat either one of those two teams, doesn't matter which one, had you beaten either one of them, you'd have been in, no question. You would have been in. And you ran the table the way you did. If you'd have beat either one of them, you'd have been in. So if you want to, if Notre Dame wants to bow out, not play anymore, that's on them. That's on them. Now, a lot of, I've been saying it again. I've been hearing it on my social media feeds and everything. By the way, I am on TikTok and Instagram. The Total Sports Ozone. Got to throw that in there. Now, I've been looking on my feed saying Notre Dame. A lot of people are saying, "Well, Notre Dame, why don't you join a conference?" Notre Dame is in a conference. Every one of their sports, other than football, is affiliated with the ACC. We all know that. Notre Dame leans ACC. They schedule 4 or 5 games against ACC opponents. The reason why they have not fully joined the ACC in football is because they want that money. Y'all forget NBC contract. They got their own network. They got their own contract, television rights deal. If they go join the ACC, that NBC deal goes bye-bye. And then they got to bow out of the ACC, which means they got to do what ESPN wants them to do. And they probably, I don't know if they'll gain more money or lose more money. But they have to be told what to do, who to schedule, when to schedule, how to schedule it, according to the ACC. They don't want to lose that independence. They've been an independent for all of Notre Dame's football life. They've been an independent, and they don't want to be told what to do. So it's going to be, the Big Ten decades ago, tried to get Notre Dame to join them. Offering them buku money. They ain't want to do it. That's why they ended up getting Penn State. That was like the consolidation year. When they asked, they begged and pleaded Notre Dame to join them. Notre Dame wasn't having it. And ACC, now what came out today, as far as the athletic director of Notre Dame saying that the ACC may have done irreparable damage to the relationship with Notre Dame football, I doubt they'll join the ACC, and I seriously doubt they'll join any conference up for right now. Maybe in a few years. Maybe when the college football playoff expands to 16 games, which they should do. Maybe that's when Notre Dame might get it in their head that it will be to their best interest and to their advantage on a national scale to join a conference. Notre Dame is a great team, no doubt about it. But I think they dug their own hole. A, when they lost their first two games. B, their scheduling leaves a lot to be desired. And C, Duke winning the ACC championship just dug the hole a little bit deeper for them. That's how I see it. Notre Dame has, you can blame the committee on it one, but I really think Notre Dame has nobody to blame except themselves and Duke. Duke, the Duke Blue Devils. Yep. So, what do you think? Should Duke be in? Or is Duke just making excuses on why? What about Alabama? Should they be in? The way they looked in SEC championship game, do you honestly think Alabama got a shot at winning this national title? Let me know. Drop comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I love to read your comments. I definitely appreciate you subscribing. I want to hear from you, though. I want to know what you think. Did the committee get it right? Did Notre Dame deserve to be in or not? And does Alabama deserve to be in? And if so, do they really got a chance? Big O with the big mouth. Tolo Sports Ozone. We're going to be talking more about these college football playoffs as the days progress, going up to the start of these games, which will be December 19th and 20th. We're going to talk more and more, believe me. Got to. But right now, let's get into the NFL and more drama. Yep, we're going from the younger wrestlers now to the bold and the beautiful. Because we had drama in the NFL over this weekend. Yes, we did. Let's start with, obviously, the Steelers and the Ravens. I'm sure you watched the highlight, the replay. I've seen the replay. Everybody involved has seen the replay. What do you think? Was it a touchdown? Was that pass to the tight end in the end zone a touchdown? Now, by the letter of the law in the NFL, they consider a catch when you is caught with total security of the ball with one hand, with either one hand on the arm or two hands, and the receiving person makes 2 steps inbounds. 2 steps inbounds. But then, according to the NFL rules, you have to make a 3rd step and make some sort of a football move for the catch to be completed in its entirety. Bullshit! I saw the replay. And he caught the ball firmly with 2 hands, made 2 steps, and he was in the end zone. He wasn't in the field of play. He wasn't in the sidelines. He was in the middle of the damn end zone. Now, I'm under the impression is when you catch the damn ball and take 2 steps and you are in the end zone, when you catch said ball, it's a touchdown. Am I right or wrong? He caught the ball, secured. 1 step down. I think it was his left foot. No, it was his right foot. Then the left foot came down. In the end zone. Why do you need to make a football move when you're already in the end zone? That's my question. That's what got me a little irate about that damn call. How the hell you gonna make a football move when you've already caught the ball in the damn end zone? 2 feet down in the end zone. You're not on sidelines. You're not in the middle of the 40-yard line or something like that. You're in the end zone. You catch the ball. You make sure both feet are in the end zone. Ball over the goal line. That's a touchdown. Nothing else after that should matter. But I guess according to the NFL, you got to make a football move in the end zone. When does that happen? When did that start to happen? Well, you got to make a football move in the end zone. Odd. But a call like that shouldn't cost the team a win. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't give a damn about neither one of those teams, the Steelers or the Ravens. As a matter of fact, I hate one of them. I hate one of them, and I don't give a damn about the other one, but fair is fair. And I call them, like I say, I call them like I see them. And there's no way in hell that should not have been a touchdown. There's no way that should not have been. That should have been a touchdown all the way. Caught with both hands secure, and he makes 2 steps, and he's in the end zone when he does this. That should have been a touchdown. And if I'm any part of the Ravens, I'm protesting. Because that play cost them a potential victory. Let's face it. It cost them a potential victory. And in a game of this importance, with the first place in the AFC North on the line, the game shouldn't come down to a bogus-ass call like that. It shouldn't have. That play should have been upheld. Because now, all the protesting ain't going to change the outcome of the game now. That's the problem. That's the problem the Ravens have. Because they can protest up till the cows come home and go back out again. Ain't going to change the outcome of the game at all. They still going to be saddled with the loss. Pittsburgh's going to get the win. Oh, yeah, the league might apologize if they feel they were in the wrong later on, but what good is that going to do? What, is it going to make the Ravens feel better? No, it ain't going to make nobody feel better. And calls like that should not affect outcomes of the games. But in this case, it did, and it was the wrong call. Most of America thinks that was a touchdown, and it was. Nevertheless, you got to make a football move, whatever the hell that is. I still don't know what the hell a football move is. And I've been watching football almost all my life. I still want to know what a football move is. After you caught the ball and taking 2 steps. Somebody explain to me what you got to do, a herky jerk reaction, block, stiff arm, what? Go down, what? Because if he didn't went down, let's face it, let's throw this out there. If the tight end would have caught the ball, made 2 steps, and then fell down, would it have been a touchdown? With the ball secure in his hands now, would it have been a touchdown? Hell yeah, it would have. So don't tell me about the football move. If a receiver catches the ball secure with 2 feet in bounds in the end zone, I don't give a damn about what he does after that. Long as he still got that ball secure after the 2 steps in the end zone, it's a touchdown. Nevertheless, I guess the NFL doesn't see it that way. They need to do something about these damn rules, though. They're going to do that. But nevertheless, Steelers get the win, and Ravens get a really tough loss. Hope that loss don't hurt them later on. But the Steelers and the Ravens will meet again in, I think, 2 or 3 weeks. Hopefully the refs will get it right by then. Big O with the big mouth, Total Sports On. Let's move on. Some of these games were surprising. I'm definitely surprised about the Texans going in Arrowhead and handling the Chiefs. They handled the Chiefs in this game. Let's face it. They had control of this game for most of the game. And here's my question: is the Chiefs, as we know it, the dynasty that we've seen of the Kansas City Chiefs over the past 5-6 years, is that done? I mean, I've even seen on my Twitter feed that some people are calling for Coach Andy Reid to be fired. That's right. They're calling for Coach Andy Reid, who's guided this team to 5 Super Bowl appearances and 3 World Championships over the past 6 years. They calling for him to be fired. Andy Reid, the genius that he is, they calling for him to be fired. That's crazy. But then again, this is the worst we've seen the Kansas City Chiefs look since, I believe, the year before Patrick Mahomes was drafted. They have not looked this bad in that long. And what's going on with the Chiefs? Why did Patrick Mahomes, he looked old in the game last night. The Texans made him look old, and he's not old, but they did. He threw, for the first time I've known, he did not throw a touchdown. He threw 3 interceptions. Was sacked twice, was beat up constantly throughout the game, and it didn't help with the fact that a lot of his receivers, especially Kelsey, dropped easy passes. I mean, right out the hand. Is the Chiefs dynasty, as we know it, over? I have to say yes. Right now they're sitting at 6-7, which means they have to win out and get some help just to make the wild card. Forget the AFC West. I think they're done. I think they're eliminated from the winning the AFC West, or they will be with either one more win by Denver or one more loss. They will not be able to win the AFC West for the first time in 8-9 years. But they need to win out and get some serious help just to get a chance at a wild card spot. That's where we at with the Chiefs right now. They're fading if they haven't faded away already. What happened? I think it's injuries. I think the Rasheed Rice situation with him getting in trouble over in the offseason, he was not able to focus entirely on football, especially in the offseason, because he had to deal with that. And the injuries to Worthy and just we're seeing a really off season from Travis Kelsey. We're talking about one of the best tight ends to ever play the game. And he's having an off year. He's dropping passes. We know he can catch. Everybody know he can catch. And he's dropping them like hot potatoes. It's just not. Plus the defense. I know we got Chris Jones, but he's not been that guy. And the defense gives up big plays. Let's face it, the defense has been giving up big plays on big occasions throughout the season. It is one of the main reasons why they haven't won a lot of close games. Remember last year, the Chiefs won 11 games within one score. Within 7 points or less, they were 11-0. This year, I don't think they won a game close. I don't think so. Maybe one, but they have not looked like the Chiefs that we know. And I think it's too late for this season for them to turn it around. Again, they will need to win their last 4 games, and get some serious help. So look at the teams they would have to jump over. They had to jump over the Colts. They had to jump over. They had to jump over the Colts, the Chargers, either one of the AFC North teams, the Ravens or the Steelers. You got to jump over Buffalo. got in the South, Jacksonville, Houston, Indianapolis. Even though Indianapolis might be in a world of trouble now that Daniel Jones is out for the season with an Achilles tear, they still formidable. You still gonna have to deal with them. So I don't know where Kansas City goes from here. Will they need to like retool on the road on like let's call it retool on the fly? Because you still got one of the best quarterbacks in the game, Patrick Mahomes. I don't care what anybody say. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the game. And you got one of the smartest coaches of all time, in Andy Reid. So maybe they can retool on the fly, with free agents and draft picks, so they can get themselves correct, for the seasons moving forward. But as of right now, I think the dynasty's dead. I hate to say that because it's been fun to watch. I think it's been fun to watch Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelsey and Rashee Rice and all those boys. I think it's been fun watching them because you never know what to expect out of Patrick Mahomes. You never know. But I think as for this season, I think it's a wrap. At 6 and 7, they got just too many teams they got to overcome just to get a wild card spot. So I think they're done as of this season. But maybe they'll be back for next season and beyond, depending on what they do in the offseason. Big O with the big mouth. Total Sports Ozone. Now, getting to the Bears and the Packers. Good game. Great game. Packers pulled it off 28-21 when Caleb Williams was on 4th and 1 from, I think it was the 8, 7, somewhere around that, inside the red zone. Caleb Williams rolls left, throws a high-arcing pass into the end zone that gets intercepted with about 40-something seconds left. With about a minute and some left. And that's what salted the game away for the Packers. My question to you guys, can Caleb Williams be counted in the clutch? Now, let's face it, he has led 4 comeback wins in the fourth quarter. But after this loss, can Caleb Williams be trusted in clutch situations late in the game against real competition? Not against the bums, but against like real competition, like the Packers, the Lions, maybe like teams like Denver. Can he be trusted in clutch situations? I think he can. I think he was just trying to do too much in that situation. He was trying. I don't know if he was trying to be the hero. I think he was just trying to do too much. And plus, that play, whoever called that play, needs to be smacked. You need one yard. You should have did that play after you got that 1 yard to keep the chains moving, keep the game alive. You know what I mean? Get the 1 yard so you can keep the game going. You don't get that 1 yard, game's over, right? Get the 1 yard. Get that first down. And so you keep the game going. So you got 4 more downs to try to get that touchdown. But no. You're going to roll him out and make him throw a dying duck? Nah, didn't like the play call. So I ain't going to put that loss on Caleb Williams. I put that loss on whoever the hell called that play. Went on 4th and 1. Get the 1 yard. Get the first down. Give yourself an opportunity to win the game. 1 yard? 1 yard. That was not a really good play call at all. So I put that on us on the play calling. I didn't put that on Caleb Williams. We're going to see in future games, especially Bears looking strong enough to make the playoffs. We're going to see if he can pull that out in clutch situations against competition. Can he actually do that when it's on his back? When he puts it on his back, we're gonna see in the future. But Caleb Williams, I think he'll be all right. I think he'll learn from that loss yesterday, and I think he'll be all right. I like his game, but I think he should throw more. But he needs to know when. Like I said, 4th and 1, a rollout to the end zone. I didn't like that. I'm thinking get the 1 yard. Play situational football. In that instance, you got to play situational football. Get that 1 yard. You have time. You had time. You had 2 timeouts. Get that 1 yard, and then move on. Then try to get that door in the end zone. At least you'll have 2, 3, 4 more opportunities to be able to do that. But as of such, that's what happened with Green Bay and the Chicago Bears. Good game though. Now, lastly about the NFL, I mean there were a lot of great games, but of course I'm going to talk about what happened in Cleveland. Shedeur Sanders, I think he played excellent. Yes, he had some bad moments, but I think considering the moment, I think he played excellent, especially in the second half. He was throwing the ball, he was dealing. He almost single-handedly led a miraculous comeback win, if you can call it a miraculous win, against the lowly Tennessee Titans. But the Titans were up 31-17, roughly halfway through the fourth quarter. And Shedeur Sanders literally put the team on his back and said, "Follow me." But here's where I have a problem. I'm pretty sure a lot of Browns fans got a problem with this. Serious problem with this. I have a problem with this. And to me, this is a fireable offense for the head coach and the coaching staff. Why the hell? Hey, when Shedeur Sanders scored the touchdown to make it 31-23, when he scored that touchdown, why didn't you just kick the point after? Why didn't you just kick the? Why are you going for 2? Why don't you just kick the point after you be down 7 with 4, 5, 4.5, 5, almost 5, a little under 5 minutes left? Why didn't you just kick the point after? Why didn't you? And then on the second point after, when they scored the touchdown to get it to within 31-29, why did you pull Shedeur Sanders for the 2-point conversion? Why did you do that? Why? Because he dropped the ball? Because he dropped the ball on the previous 2-point conversion? Hell, you shouldn't have even been going for 2 in that situation. You should have been kicking the point after. The lead would have been 7. Then you wouldn't have to go for 2 on the second situation. See what I'm saying? See what I mean? If you'd have kicked the point after on the first touchdown that got you to within 7, you wouldn't have had to go for 2 on the second one. And then, not only you have to go for 2, you pull your quarterback and you do some stupid wildcat formation to go for 2 that gets blown up. And then you wonder why, if you're Kevin Stefanski, you got to be wondering, and you wonder why they calling for your head. They calling for you to be fired. That's a fireable offense. You literally handed Tennessee the game on 2 questionable goddamn decisions, all on special teams. That's fireable to me. I mean, what the hell did you have to lose? Team ain't going nowhere. You ain't going nowhere. You're done. Playoffs ain't even nowhere near the horizon for the Cleveland Browns. Why are you pulling this crap, Kevin Stefanski? Why are you pulling Shedeur Sanders on a 2-point conversion after what he did to get you within that point? Why the hell are you pulling him? see, this is where I think there's something else going on in Cleveland. Because if I'm the head coach, he's staying on that field. I'm going to live and die with that QB. He got me to this point. I'm going to see if he can get me on. That's what you're supposed to do. But no, you pull him in the most critical moment of the game. A 2-point conversion you need to tie the game. And you pull the one player that helped get you to this point more than any other player on the field. That's a fireable offense. To me, that's fireable. And if I was the owner of the Cleveland Browns, his ass would have been fired about 2 hours ago. Bust that. Really. If I was the owner of the Cleveland Browns, or any NFL team for that matter, and my head coach pulled some crap like that, he would have been fired about 2 hours ago. About 2 hours ago today, he would have been fired. Gone. Bye. I have your assistant pack up your office. Don't even come back on this dang facility. Gone. Bye. I'll mail you your severance check. That's a fireable offense, in my opinion. Pulling the QB that got you to this point, that got you to the chance to be able to not only tie the game and possibly get you a win, you pull him on a 2-point conversion that you need to tie the game. And you pull him and call some bullshit play, and it don't work. It's a fireable offense. But that's just me. That's just me. Well, we can get into some more of that, but if I did, I just ended up blowing my stack because, again, it's a fireable offense. I truly believe Kevin Stefanski should be fired. I don't know if they're going to fire him during the season. I mean, it don't make no sense firing him now with 4 games left, but he definitely should be fired at the end of this season. I'm just saying. I call it like I see it. And now I got to call it a day. Got to get on out of here. Big O with the big mouth, Total Sports Zone. Tomorrow, we're going to go over the recap of tonight's Eagles-Chargers game. Eagles needs this game. The Cowboys gave them a gift when they lost Thursday. Eagles need this game. Can they right their wrongs on offense? And can the defense actually hold the Chargers running game down? We'll find out, and we'll go over all that tomorrow. Plus, we'll get into more college football playoff talk and see if anything changes with Notre Dame. Probably not. Probably not. Plus, we're going to start looking more and more in the NBA. Now that the college football season is winding down a little bit. Winding down. We're going to talk more NBA coverage. Can anybody beat the Oklahoma City Thunder? 23-1. And I mean, they killing teams. Can anybody beat them? Is anybody capable of beating them? We're going to talk more. We're going to talk about the NBA more and more as the days progress. Right now, Big O with the big mouth got to get out of here. And I'll see you tomorrow right here in the Total Sports Zone. Peace.